Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well, and welcome to our UFC 330 breakdown. My God. One thing I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, is that this breakdown is probably going to be more exciting than this fucking card. It is, it's taken me a lot to get up for this episode, you know. It is not the most exciting card, but that doesn't mean we're not going to break it down, have a bit of fun, talk about the Real Housewives of the UFC at the moment, and just unpack the whole card. But before we do, guys, I think we need to crack a delicious can of kamikaze. I need it today, guys. I need it. I've been at Parker's Sports Carnival. You guys know how Parker's been at school lately. Do you think he got involved in any sports? Look, that would be a lie if I said no, he didn't. He did engage in a couple of sports, but maybe we'll break it down a bit more in next week's solo episode because, like I said, today's all about the UFC. So let's crack our delicious can of kamikaze. Oh, yeah, listen to that fire engine roar. This is going to be fucking delicious. I have to come clean, guys. This is my second can of fire engine today. I am buzzing, as they say. Let me have a quick sip. Oh, yeah, that's some good shit. Now, a message just came through. I'm not sure if the ding came through your headphones, but I'm leaving my phone not on focus mode just purely because Nikita's still at the sports carnival with Parker. And if it gets a bit too much for her, then perhaps I'll need to venture back there and help a sister out, you know what I mean? I need to zoom this in a lot better. Guys, I swear to God, my eyes are getting worse and worse these days. So I think I need to move that. There's no reason why I can't move this screen closer now that I don't really do guests and shit like that. But who knows? I might change my mind next week and have a fucking guest in here. Actually, I do have 2 guests next week. See what I mean? I don't really have much to talk about for this fight card, so I'm just rambling. I'm like, the people are going to want to hear this more than fucking half these fights. But anyway, what's been going on in the world of the UFC since we've last been in here? So UFC 329, that was our last breakdown we did together, the last pay-per-view. You guys remember, I was on a high. This was the best week of my life, and then I just got heartbroken, okay? So I reckon it's only fair we kick this one off with an update. And I know, I came in here and I said, I'm done. I'm never talking about him again. You're not my real dad, Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? That type of fucking behavior. But he's come out and he said the comeback is on. Now, I'm not buying into it, guys. I'm not fucking buying into it. So his UFC 329 return lasted 69 seconds after he suffered a ACL and meniscus injury against Max Holloway, as we all know. So he is now, it's very vague, the details. It is very vague as to whether he's had surgery, how exactly they've gone about fixing it. But he's put out clips on his Instagram and shit like that of him doing leg extensions, which, hey, as someone with a meniscus injury myself, am I putting myself in the same category as Conor McGregor? You betcha. Does he have a little bit more heart than me? Yeah, I guess he probably would. You know what I mean? I haven't gone 4 rounds with Eddie Alvarez. I haven't been through 2 fucking wars with Nate Diaz, but I have to pull myself out of bed every day and drag myself to my cabinet making job. So I don't know, Connor, who's the real beast in this situation? Anyway, I don't even know where the fuck I was going to with that. Oh, that's right. So he's on leg extension and shit like that. He did this injury a month ago. Now, as someone who does have a meniscus injury, it took me fucking ages to start doing leg exercises at the gym again. It took me ages to be able to walk without looking like some sort of special needs dude, you know? So it's got me and everyone else on the internet very skeptical as to what exactly he's done. Because again, we've seen no like doctors, not that he needs to fucking supply us a doctor's certificate, like we're not his boss, but like you would think, like Tom Aspinall, for example, when he got his eye poke and now he's been out for fucking 2 years or whatever, he is just funneling like information about his injury and things like that, just to try and back up his claims. And we're all like, nah, Tom, we don't fucking believe you. Then Conor goes, I've got a fucking ACL and meniscus injury. And we're like, that's sweet, Conor. We believe you 100%. There's no reason for us to ever doubt what you say. You know what I mean? So he's come out. He said comeback season's on. And he is eyeing off a trilogy match with Max Holloway in 2027. So Dana has come out and suggested that the recovery is going to take a little bit more than that, which, again, makes fucking sense if Conor's telling the truth. But we will see. We will see what goes on with that. But speaking about Max Holloway, he has come out and spoken about potentially running it back with Justin Gaethje. So Justin Gaethje, as we all know, beat Ilia Topuria at the White House earlier this year and is now undisputed lightweight champion. And Max Holloway has previously knocked out Justin Gaethje in one of the most iconic finishes in UFC history. Everyone remembers the point down to the Octagon, the final seconds of the fight, and then that knockout when there was like 1 second left in the fight. Absolutely insane. So now Max is like, well, fucking makes sense. Let's run it back. Let's go the rematch. I've beaten you before. Now you're champion. Let's do this shit. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It was an enjoyable fight. And like I said, that knockout will go down in history as one of the sickest things we've ever seen in the cage. And then Justin Gaethje's manager, I never know how to say this guy's name. This guy actually fucking irritates me. I don't know what it is about him, but he's like, he got in on the relatively early days of like that next big jump in the UFC. So Ali Abdelaziz, I don't know. I fucking can't pronounce it. But anyway, he's Justin Gaethje's manager. And he has floated the idea of Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev for a potential final fight for Justin Gaethje. They're both managed by him. So it sort of makes me, I don't know. There's nothing crazy about that fight that really rings out to me. The only thing that I can think is that this Ali dude is all in it for himself. If they both get this fight, he's getting a percentage of their fight purse off both of them. So he's the real winner out of all of this. So I don't know. I don't want to see that personally. I'd much rather see Justin versus fucking, who did we just talk about? Max Holloway. But yeah, we'll see what goes on there. Ilia Topuria, his next move. So he's recovering from the injuries from the White House, and he has hinted at a rematch with Justin Gaethje, but obviously the UFC is wanting to move forward potentially without him. I mean, he's got like a fractured orbital or whatever the fuck it's called, a fractured face to put it politely. So it's sort of, I don't know if I want to see that anyway. The way Justin absolutely pieced him apart, like I said, we've never seen him like that. It doesn't really scream immediate rematch. I feel like, as much as it sucks to say, Ilia might have to actually work for this rematch. And other names that are being floated around is Paddy Pimblett or Arman Sarukian. So they've both been mentioned as his next potential next opponents. And I've got to be completely honest. I would much rather see either one of them fight Ilia Topuria than a Topuria Gaethje rematch. Sorry, fucking absolutely wheels spinning right there. Now, the main event for this one, Islam Makhachev. The retirement rumors are swirling around because he's obviously getting up there in age. I should have looked up his exact age. Do I have it written down there? No. Anyway, there's been chatter on the World Wide Web of Islam potentially stepping away after this fight on Sunday, and he's come out on a couple of podcasts and things like that, and absolutely pushed back at the idea. He said he's not going anywhere. And, his retirement plan seems to be this fight, win this fight, win the next fight, win the fight after that, and just win every fight until he eventually goes, you know what? I have had enough of fucking these guys up. So, stay tuned for my breakdown on that fight. That fight intrigues me. Let's put it that way, okay? Little sneaky teaser for you guys. Oh, who's Jimmy going to pick in the main event? Is he going to pick what everyone else is picking in Islam Makhachev, or does he have an upset? You guys know I love me a fucking dog. So stay tuned for that one. All right, let's get on to the one that I'm most excited to talk about. Quillan Salkilld just destroyed Mateusz Gamrot on the weekend. No, I didn't talk about it in my solo episode this week because I figured I'm doing a UFC breakdown anyway, so why not come on and talk about it here? So this is the must talk about Australian story this year. We are in for we need a new Aussie champion to step up. And Quillan has sort of taken that on his back and gone, hey, I'm going to put the nation on my back. Volk's getting up there in age. JDM just lost his belt. Robert Whittaker's fucking due to retire. Izzy Adesanya, he's on the downward slope. Tai Tuivasa, do we even fucking mention it? Us Aussies, we need someone down here that we can get behind, and Quillan Salkilld is that guy. He submitted Mateusz Gamrot by a rear naked choke in round 1 on Sunday, and he has now 13 straight wins, and his last 4 victories have come by way of first round finish. So absolutely insane. I had a sneaky punt on him on our friends at Knucklebet. Get around him, gamble responsibly, of course. Actually, let me get my little slips up from Sunday. I actually posted this on my Instagram story because I was quietly happy with my turnover. I had a terrible week on the NRL this week, and then the UFC pulled me out of the fire on Sunday. So I went Quillan Salkilld to win, and then I had under 4 rounds. Now, I knew he was going to get the win by finish. I just didn't know it was going to be that fucking early. But every ounce of my body wanted to believe it was going to be that early, but I was just like, oh, okay, I'll go under 4 rounds just to be fucking safe. And that one cashed out. That was paying decent amount. Then I went a big multi. I went 4 fights. Juliana Miller, Manuel Sosa, Ty Miller, and Y Del Valle fight to go less than 14 minutes. All that cashed out. Another juicy little multi there. And then the one I was most happy with, we went to mini golf on Sunday, and as we're walking out of the house, I see the next fight. Now, I hadn't really looked too closely at this card. The only fight that really interested me was Quillan Salkilld. And as we're walking out, the fight between Louis Sutherland and Jose Montanua da Silva was about to start. Now, I quickly pulled out my Knucklebet app, pulled up the fight, and saw that Jose was the underdog on that. He was paying $3 to win. And I was like, I watched Louis Sutherland's last fight, and it was a robbery. He should have fucking lost that fight. It was an absolutely boring fight. So I'm like, okay, let's have a little bit more of a look at this Jose dude. He had 8 wins and 1 loss, and I think 7 of those were by finish. So I'm like, oh God, we're going all in on this bad boy. And I'm glad I put that in because I forgot about it. Then we finished golf. I opened Knucklebet, and the cash was in my account. I was like, oh, you beauty. I love those little spur of the moment bets, responsibly, of course. But in that instance, it paid off. So back to Quillan. He's immediately called for a top 5 opponent. I think we have to fucking see it. Oh, my Lord. How do I silence that, actually? I've tried this time and time again, haven't I? It was just an update of the Sports Carnival. So, oh my God, why are these all coming through now? I'm going to have to put focus mode on for a couple of seconds. Let's go that. All right, sweet. So I'm excited to see where Quillan goes from here. I hope he gets one more in the top 5. Top 5 in that division is a little bit scary, but after what we've seen come out of this absolute legend, you can't doubt him anymore, okay? So let's see where he goes to, and then it's just championship after that. We're going to have another Aussie champion on our fucking shores. So shout out to Quillan Salkilld. Should we get him on the pod for a yarn? I don't know. Maybe we should. Quillan, if you're hearing this, hit your boy up. There is actually... maybe I'll say it on next week's solo episode. Some exciting news in the me and the fight world thing. Been approached by a promoter to do some shit. So we will see where that goes to. The last thing I'll touch on in the Real Housewives of the UFC, Mark Zuckerberg is still just wedging his way in with UFC fighters, and I don't know. It just makes me feel... It doesn't make me feel good. I don't know why. It's just like he's lived his whole life as this nerdy geek that invented Facebook. Now he's got all this money. He's getting hair transplants. He's going on TRT. He's getting jacked. And now he's just like, hey, guys, I'm one of the cool guys. You want to hang out sort of thing? So Zuckerberg has been filmed sparring Merab Dwavashvili on a floating barge in a lake, which is, okay, if you're going to do it in a gym. Do it in an octagon. Do it somewhere. Don't make it a fucking spectacle to go, look at me even more than we already have to. So, yeah, billionaire Mark Zuckerberg just living out his secret MMA life. And that's fucking, I don't know. I just feel like I had to bring that up. But just imagine me last week opening Instagram and just seeing Mark Zuckerberg being ragdolled into a lake by Merab. It ruined my day, okay? It ruined my fucking day. And now it's time to ruin our day even more by getting into this fucking breakdown. So before I do, let's have another sip of this delicious kamikaze. Oh, yeah, that's some good shit. All right, let's kick it off. The early prelims in the welterweight division, we have Jeremiah Wells versus UFC. Why are you doing this to me straight off the bat? Makhachev Oralbai. Jesus Christ. Oralbai is the absolute favorite on this card. I think he is the biggest favorite on this entire card. So he's what have I got there? He's moved up to welterweight. Wells is the local Philadelphia fighter. I think they're just giving this Wells guy, I feel bad for him, you know what I mean? His hometown, he's going, oh, God, I've got a UFC fight in Philly. Who am I versing? You're versing this absolute beast from Kazakhstan. So I'm not going anyone else. I'm going to go Oralbai by decision maybe. I think it'll probably be a pretty boring fight, just ground out on the ground. Then we go welterweight division. We have UFC legend Neil Magny up against Ramiz Bramajaj. What the fuck? So Neil Magny, obviously one of the UFC's ultimate veteran gatekeepers, and he owns the most welterweight wins in UFC history. So he's got a bit of a record behind him. What is his record? 31-15. Oh, those losses are getting up there with poor old Magny. But Bramajaj is he's a much more dangerous submission threat. As much as I want to pick Magny, I got to go this young dog. I'm going to go Ramiz by submission in that one. Then we go to the welterweight division. Is that all? All the early prelims are welterweight. What the fuck? Okay. Way to mix it up, UFC. Oh, this fight. Okay, this fight confused the fuck out of me when I was doing the breakdown for it. So, we've got Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. Now, Lucas Fernando has his photo blacked out on the UFC.com website, which means he's a graduate of the Dana White Contender Series, which has just kicked off again. Get around it. A way to see some of these young up-and-comers break through. So, Fernando comes in as the betting favorite. So, I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong. He looks like an absolute Brazilian beast. His body is just chiseled out of granite. So, I'm like, straight away, my money's going on him without a fucking doubt. And Tobias, he's obviously the much more experienced of the two. Now, everything that I have read on this Lucas Fernando dude is like, you've got to pick him. He's an absolute weapon. And I look at his record, 0 wins and 1 loss. What the fuck? How does this make any sense? You know what I mean? The only thing I can assume, I didn't see Lucas Fernando's Dana White Contender Series fight. I can only assume that was an absolute war or something like that for everyone to be getting behind him. I don't know. I'm going to follow the pack. I'm going to go Lucas Fernando, but I don't know why. Like, he's paying $1.33 with 0 wins. Wild shit. One of the weirdest things I've seen in the UFC in a while. All right, let's go to the prelims. Another UFC vet, Vicente Luque versus Trejan Gore. Okay, this Gore dude's face, every time he's on a card, it just messes with me. I don't know what is up with it. No disrespect, brother. Vicente Luque, the veteran, like I just said, and he is a finisher with 11 KOs and 10 submissions. Gore is the younger fighter coming off a huge submission win over Azmat Bekayev. Again, everyone's going Trejan Gore. He's paying $1.67. I'm gonna go my boy Vicente Luque in this one. I'm gonna go the underdog. It's not that crazy of an underdog. He's paying $2.20. But like I just said, 11 KOs and 10 submissions. Let's give it to the vet in this one. So I'm going Vicente Luque in that one. Then we go to the middleweight division. We got Dante Johnson versus Eric McConaughey. All right. I remember this Dante Johnson dude pretty well. He's your typical, like, when you close your eyes and you think like early 2000s UFC fighter, this is him. He is the favorite in this fight. He's been quietly building momentum, and he's already got wins over Moicano. Not Moicano. Holy shit, that would be impressive. He would be up there in title contentions. McConaughey from earlier. And wait, have these guys fought before? Yeah, this is a rematch. Holy shit. Okay. I don't know. Regardless of whatever fucking dribble I've written up there, because none of that makes sense, you fucking idiot. I'm going to go Dante Johnson in this. He's only paying $1.44, but I think he's done enough to get the win there. What are their records? 10-2, 10-3. Fairly evenly matched. Nah, I'm going to trust my gut. Dante Johnson. Let's go him. Then we go to lightweight division. We've got Jalin Turner versus Kai Fernandez. The letters with like the lines and shit above them always fuck me up. Turner, ridiculous length and power for the 155 division. Fernandez is a nasty kicker with strong finishing record. Ooh, I like the sound of that. I had Jalin Turner up here by KO, but 15-9 versus 11-2. I'm going to mix that up on the fly. I'm going to go the underdog in that one. I'm going to go Fernandez. Purely just because of that finishing record. So lock that in. That's another little dog for us to hopefully make some cash. Then to cap off the prelims, we go Chidi Nokoni versus Joel. What the fuck? Joel Alvarez. Why? Oh, okay. All right. There's something on my screen up there, and it made the L look like some sort of weird I or something. Okay, Joel Alvarez. That's much more manageable. Alvarez moved up to welterweight after years at lightweight, brings a massive reach advantage, plus a ridiculous finishing record as well. Nakan, oh God, UFC. We need to make these names easier. Or we need to like give some pronunciation or something on your website. Strong striking pedigree for that dude, and he's struggled with pressure in the past. So it's not great for him, is it? Let's go Alvarez. Let's go Alvarez by submission just to step up those odds a little bit more. All right, let's kick off the main card. Now, a fight has fallen off this. This is the first time in a while that I can remember that the UFC is just staying strong with a 4-fight main card, which this card was already very hard for me to pay $60 for. I don't think I'm going to, like, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think I'm going to buy this card. The only fight I want to see on it, the co-main I kind of want to see as well. But it's really just the main event that concerns me. But let's start from the bottom and work our way up there. We kick it off in the lightweight division. Another UFC vet. It just, I don't know. It just always makes me sad seeing the UFC put all these UFC vets up against these young lions. But we've got Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovic. Now, pretty familiar with both these guys. Obviously, Edson Barboza, I grew the fuck up with him watching the UFC. And Esteban Ribovic, I've been watching him pretty closely over the last couple of years. So, what have I got there? Why don't I have odds on this one? Let's have a quick look on Knucklebet while we are speaking this one out. Where are we? There we go. Open. MMA. All right, where are you guys? Esteban. Yeah, as suspected. Edson Barboza is paying $4.75 at the moment, and Esteban's paying $1.20. So not great odds, but I'm going to go Esteban in that one. Like I said, I've been watching him the last couple of years. I like the cut of his jib. Edson Barboza, he's the UFC vet where I just want him to hang his gloves up. I genuinely hope on the weekend we see him put his gloves down in the cage, and that's it for him because he has been doing it for as long as I can remember. So shout out to Edson Barboza while we're talking about him. Then we go to the middleweight division. This one, look, it intrigues me a little bit. You know what? Now that I'm talking these fights out on the main card, I do kind of want to watch some of them. But anyway, we've got middleweight division. We've got Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Dustin Stotzfus. So Malik is the favourite in this one. Heavy favourite, much like the previous odds, $1.18 versus Dustin's $4.90. So Abdul-Malik, former D1 wrestler with 100% finishing rate. That's good to know. 7 KOs, 2 submissions, so he can do it all. And Stovers is the experienced veteran with much more UFC mileage. Okay, much like this whole card. UFC vet up against young lion. I'm going to go Mansur Abdul. Obviously, I'm just trying to toss up knockout or submission. It's either one of them. I need to see if Knucklebet offers double chance, or even just fight not to go the distance. I'm going to go Abdul Malik and fight not to go the distance. I can't choose KO or submission. Or if either option's paying enough, maybe a little dabble on both. You know what I mean? As long as it covers the outlay. Who knows, guys? Gamble responsibly. Remember that. Then the co-main event, the women's strawweight title. We have Mackenzie Dern, one of the dime pieces of the UFC, respectfully, up against Gillian Robertson. This one, the odds surprised me. I'm going to be completely honest. So this is basically going to be a jiu-jitsu fight with some punching allowed. Dern is a champion. She has the much more dangerous submission arsenal, but Robertson owns the UFC record in the women's division for submission wins, which is why this price surprised me so much. Gillian Robertson paying $2.72. It's not the worst bet that I've ever heard. You know what I mean? If I had to bet with my head, Mackenzie Dern, possibly by submission. I just don't know if she will submit Robertson. You know what I mean? And I just can't see these two going 5 rounds. Neither of them are going to knock each other out. That's out the window. It's submission or decision, either one. But there's just something about Gillian Robertson. If she was going to win a title, this is who she's going to win it from, Mackenzie Dern. I gotta stick to what I said. Mackenzie Dern by submission. But God, those odds on Robertson are definitely piquing my interest. Anyway, let's get to the main event. The welterweight title, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. Now, Islam Makhachev 28-1, Ian Machado Garry 17-1. Makhachev paying $1.25 and Garry $3.85. Now, Islam Makhachev is chasing the UFC record for consecutive wins after matching Anderson Silva's 16. What the fuck just popped up there? Ian Garry, 17-1, like I just said, brings a huge height, reach advantage, plus elite defensive wrestling. Now, that is what has me so intrigued. This is the worst possible fight in the division for Islam Makhachev. If Islam Makhachev wins this one, he retires the champion 100%, regardless of whoever his next opponent is. Ian Machado Garry is the last challenge in this division for Islam. And looking at their records, like their like previous fights and things like that, you put Islam's last 5 up against Ian Machado Garry's. Yes, they're bigger names, but I mean, he's versed Volk twice. Argument is Volk beat him in that first one. The second one, he took Volk on short notice. Unfair, okay? Why you do that to our Aussie boy like that? Dustin Poirier, towards the back end of his career. Who else was there? Moicano. Okay, fair enough. But is he a main contender? I've never really seen him up there. And then Ian Machado Garry, his record is like, he's down there. He's chomping at the bit for that title. He's fighting all these absolute killers. You know what I mean? Now, what I will say about Ian Machado Garry, outside of the Octagon, can't stand the bloke. The biggest fucking cuck there is, coming out this week and saying, I support PETA. I'm a vegan. Women should rule the world. All that shit pisses me off, okay? Then his wife is like his PR agent. What the hell is going on there? The messages are going off somehow. Anyway, let's get to the actual fight. Ian Machado Garry's path is obvious. Keep it on the feet, use his long frame, and make Islam chase and force him to fight at range. If this goes to the ground, we're going to see typical Islam Makhachev title defense. He is just going to keep him down there. He's going to use that Dagestani wrestling and just keep him pinned to the mat. And I don't know. Like I said at the start, Ian Machado Garry does have good defensive wrestling. I don't know if it's good enough for Islam Makhachev. You know what I mean? There was a video that came out the other week of the wrestling mats over in Russia of Khabib's gym. There was just an inch of fucking sweat all over the mat. It was disgusting. No wonder there's so many like staph infections and things like that. So I am going to go... Again, smart one is Islam Makhachev by decision. I do see that, how it's going to go. But the year that we have had of just the people that we've put up there losing, Alex Pereira, lost. Ilia Topuria, lost. Who else has lost this year? There's been fucking all the people that we didn't think were going to lose. Yeah, it's wild. If 2026 is the year of the underdog, I kind of got to back Ian Machado Garry. You know what I mean? It does blow my mind, the odds on this. I think based off how, because the issue is you guys hold me to this. This goes out on the internet, and then I have little fucking keyboard warriors in the comments that are like, oh, you fucking idiot, you picked Ian Machado Garry. Of course Islam Makhachev was going to win. Yes, of course, 100%. But there's just something inside me that is saying Ian Machado Garry might have this. I'm gonna fuck it. Who cares? I'm going Ian Machado Garry as the underdog, as my upset. Let's go that. But that has brought us to the end of the episode, guys, which means there's only time for one more thing. Our Can't Bet Any Worse multi, brought to you by our friends at Knucklebet. We have, guys, I fucked that all up. I was trying to read ahead. Let me rewind that. Let me have a sip of my delicious kamikaze, and then we're going to redo that. All right. Oh, yeah, now I'm feeling it. All right. That's brought us to the end of the episode, and there's only one thing left to do, guys. Our Can't Bet Any Worse multi, brought to you by our friends at Knucklebet and voted by you guys on Instagram via polls. We have Islam Makhachev with 91% of the votes, Mackenzie Dern with 73% of the votes, and Mansur Abdul-Malik with 76% of the votes, giving us a combined multi of $2.17 on Knucklebet at the time of recording this, which is probably the shortest odds we've had on a Can't Bet Any Worse multi. So is it going to get up, guys? I don't know, but if you are having a little dabble, gamble responsibly, of course. Other than that, guys, that's brought us to the end of the episode. So shows to plug this week. I'll be at the Morrison Bar at Wollongabba this Sunday for sit-down comedy. Other than that, just the same old shit, you know what I mean? So if you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram or shoot me an email at can'tgetanywOrsePod@gmail.com. I appreciate you all listening. I hope you enjoy the fights on Sunday, and I will see you later.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the